Have you ever felt a quiet shift in your relationships as you've gotten older? A sense that the people you love are slowly pulling away. It's a really painful feeling, isn't it? Noticing fewer calls, shorter visits, maybe even a little less patience from those who mean the world to you. No one wants to imagine they're being quietly resented, especially after spending a lifetime caring for others. Yet, for many older adults, this subtle change becomes all too real. But here's the good news, and I really want you to hear this. Most of the behaviors that unintentionally push people away are completely fixable. With just a little bit of awareness, you can reconnect, rebuild respect, and strengthen your relationships in a way that brings all that warmth and joy back into your life. Today, we're going to talk about 7 common habits that can create emotional distance, and more importantly, how you can reverse every single one of them. Let's get started. First up is a big one, slipping into constant complaining. Now, I know what you're thinking. It doesn't feel like complaining. It feels like you're just being honest about your pain, your worries, or your frustrations. And that's completely valid. But to the people around you, hearing a constant stream of negative comments can become emotionally exhausting. Think about someone like Harold. He never thought of himself as a complainer. But his daughter noticed that after every visit, she left feeling completely drained. So she started shortening her visits. It wasn't because she didn't love him. It was because the negativity was just too much to carry. People naturally gravitate toward those who lift them up. This doesn't mean you have to hide your struggles or pretend everything is perfect. Not at all. The key is balance. Try to balance the tough stuff with moments of kindness, gratitude, and genuine curiosity about the other person's life. When your presence feels comforting and positive, people will want to stick around longer. It's that simple. The second habit is showing resistance to new ideas. With age comes wisdom, and that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes, without us even noticing, that wisdom can harden into stubbornness. Your loved ones might start to feel like you don't hear them, especially if their ideas are immediately met with phrases like, "That's not how we used to do it," or "Trust me, that won't work." Let me tell you about Lorraine. She was 81 and she absolutely adored her grandchildren. She was always correcting them, trying to protect them from making mistakes. But from their perspective, it didn't feel like protection. It felt like constant criticism. They started to shut down around her. Sometimes the greatest gift you can offer someone is just to listen. You don't always need to have the answer or the final word. Just letting someone feel heard can be incredibly powerful. It shows you respect their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Habit number 3 is living too much in the past. Your memories are precious treasures, and you should absolutely share them. But when you're constantly comparing the present to the good old days, it can make other people feel judged or like their experiences aren't as valuable. Take Frank, For example, he loved telling his old Navy stories, which was great, but every holiday dinner turned into a long speech about how things just aren't as good as they used to be. After a while, his grandchildren just stopped engaging. They felt like nothing they did could ever measure up. A healthy balance between cherishing old memories and creating new ones is what keeps relationships vibrant and strong. Okay, let's move on to number 4, dominating conversations. Many older adults find themselves unintentionally taking over every conversation, always turning the topic back to their stories, their pains, or their opinions. Evelyn loved talking to her son on the phone. She rarely paused to ask him what was going on in his life. Eventually, he gently had to tell her, "Mom, sometimes I really wish you'd ask about my life, too." A conversation isn't a stage for a monologue. It's a shared space. It's like a game of catch. You throw the ball, and then you have to be ready to catch it when it's thrown back. Ask questions. Be curious. Give other people the room to speak and share their own lives. This creates much deeper, more loving connections. The 5th habit is holding onto outdated norms a little too tightly. Your values are a core part of who you are, and that's important. But insisting that everyone else, especially younger family members, follow the social standards of decades past can create a lot of friction and distance. Comments about gender roles, career choices, or different lifestyles can be unintentionally hurtful, even when they come from a place of love. Gloria, for instance, really struggled to accept her granddaughter's non-traditional career choice. She made little comments here and there, and over time, the emotional gap between them grew wider and wider. Remember, understanding doesn't mean you have to agree with everything. It just means you care enough to respect their choices and love them for who they are. This leads us right into habit number 6, criticizing the younger generation's choices. Advice that's given with love can so easily sound like judgment. Think about Arthur, an 85-year-old grandfather who was worried about his grandson's financial future. He repeatedly asked him, "When are you going to get a real job?" He truly meant well. He wanted his grandson to be secure, but his grandson just heard criticism. Encouragement builds confidence. Criticism builds walls. Be skeptical of your own skepticism. Show them you're interested in their journey. And unless someone specifically asks for your guidance, the most powerful thing you can do is just offer quiet, unwavering support. Finally, we come to number 7, and this one can be the most heartbreaking because it often stems from grief, loneliness, or declining health. It's neglecting personal care and social courtesy. Simple things like wearing fresh clothes, basic grooming, or remembering birthdays and important dates, these small habits send a powerful message. They show your loved ones that you care enough to show up as your best self for them. When Ruth lost her husband, a part of her shut down. She stopped dressing nicely and started forgetting important dates. Her family, of course, still loved her deeply, but they found themselves visiting less. Something just felt different, and it was hard for them to be around that sadness. Taking care of yourself isn't about vanity. It's a form of emotional connection. It tells the world, and more importantly, your family, that you are still engaged in life and that you value their presence. So, there you have it, 7 habits that can create distance. But I want to end on a really positive note. Nobody is perfect. And it is never, ever too late to reconnect and rebuild your relationships. Think of these 7 habits not as failures, but as opportunities. They are invitations to grow, to listen more deeply, and to love more openly. By making a few small, conscious changes, you can transform your relationships from a source of worry into your greatest source of joy and strength. It all starts with a little awareness and a lot of love. Thank you so much for watching today. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on living your best life at any age. We'll see you in the next one.